Yabrug Nation, Dawid here this Shabbat's Eve. Our YisraYah'ale is off because he will be teaching on Shabbat and on Pentecost the first day. I want us to understand how important the times of Yah are. We have been bamboozled, we have been dumbed down, and we accept any kind of falsehood, lies. We're not taught righteously. And I'm talking about the Mo'adim, the feast days of Yah. We have been taught a system that is fraudulent, full of lies. It is not produced by Yah. There was one by the name of YHWH, the second, but the same as YisraYah'ale. He created this delusion for what we call the feast days, and there's a reason that they are all held after one event. And all of pagan holidays like Easter and Buddhism and all, they all wait on one event. And what I want to do, there is no sequence where I want to go, but I want to show us something. And I want to write so that it is legible and that you can see. I want to start here and let us look at the Passover. We look at the Passover. It's important. It was held last year within this frame of time, between April 15th, 2022, within the scope of a few days difference. But most people, April 15th, 2022. It's important to understand because we have been deceived. I know I was. My ignorance did not create that kind of understanding of things because I've been preaching 45 years or better. And I began this walk in what we all many in the name of the Lord Jesus. Some 5 years later, 6, the person that I met, he told me concerning his name. His name was not Lord God Jesus. And so when I moved here 28 years ago, I began to search things out diligently. The feast days and all of those things. So I did not have the understanding of things like I do now. But let me show you this first of all. Most people held their Passover last year either April 15th. I have one whereby they did theirs in March. April 15th Passover, 4/15. I want us to understand that. Let's just take this one because I want to show you other things. And that Passover, listen, the one that was held in last year, this was in 22 here. The one that was held in 23 was April the 15th. The 15th. I want to show us something, nation. And so if you would just count the days, even with the new moon, the Hadash or the Hodash, and that is when that slither faced the west, you will know that It's the beginning of the month of Almighty Yah. You will see from here to this time, 22 April 15th and 22 April 5th. 23 April 5th, maybe the 5th. Between those time periods, there were 355 days passed. 355 days is a lunar month. That is a lunar month. We're going to discuss those things. I want you to understand, because we have been deceived. And those that lead us, they really don't know. They've been taught fables by their kinsmen, their fathers, and the elders that they had great regard for. We're going to open up the book and see what the book says. Many held theirs, 22 April, it was April 15th, and in 2023, it was April 5th. And I want to get into the details of why. I want to show us the reason why. Now this year, this same Jewish, I have probably hundreds of feast days for gatherings throughout the United States, different part of the world. And there are some I have that run from 2020 to 2050. It's not difficult to do, because there is one important event that they all wait for, and it must happen before they can begin to count. I want you to hear this clearly now. You can count the days from last year of your Pesach. Just count them. Do a little homework until this year. So it will be held in many places. It will be held April. I want us to understand, April 22nd, 2024. Now, how is it that a lunar calendar was used here? And from April 15, 22 to April 5th, 2023, April 5th, 2023, there was 355 days that transpired. A lunar month consists of 353 days, 354 days, and 355. There are 12 months within that cycle. There are many religious groups that utilize the lunar calendar. It is one that is probably most recognizable than many. It is the Islamic or the Muslims. Their Ramadan, it fades 11 days back every year. Now, don't you know, we do know that there are 12 princes. Yah did not call the sons of Abraham his elect, but they are the princes. They all are princes. And they are those that are the seed of Abraham there, period. His seed is everywhere. Let me refresh our minds, all right? Passover, April the 15th, 2022. That's vitally important. So from 2022 to 2023, it was April 5th, 2023. There were 355 days passed between that April 22nd, 22, April 15, 2022 to April 5th, 355 days. You must take your time and examine this truth. I know you have been caught up in a systematic thing. It's a lie. From April 5th to April 27th, 2024, how many days passed? 383 days, called the 13th month. That's what it's called. There's an intercalary that is added. And every year, every 2 years, you're going to have a 13th month. You're going to see that. And so what they do, they falsify things. It's a lie to keep it in what we call Aviv, or the spring, Aviv. That's not what Yah told us. He gave us a pattern, how to keep his Mo'adim. And I was saying to one this week, how do you have between 355, both of these dates are lunar years. How can 355 and 353 be a year in y'all's time? When it comes to that third year, it's 383 days. It's either 383, 384, or 385. I'm going to read material. There are things we have up that you will be able to see. This is what one piece of the document that is up. You can download it, you can utilize it, and you will see even on this every third year, the dates is either 353, 383, 384, or 385. This is a delusion. And that's what you follow. These are lies. And this is what your leader or leaders teach you all. I will not buy it because I know it's a lie. I know the falsehood of this system. You can't debate this with me. I will debate anyone concerning this. I will debate any Jew, any Rabbi, any Hebrew Israelites. Y'all laid out this system. A year that is, let me write this down. These are the years, and I will show us how these years were calculated and who is the author of this change. I will show you that. Those that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, they follow the same system. It's no different at all. This is what they call a lunar year, days. This is what is called a lunar year. And if you go back, and most preachers will not discuss this with you. You go to your one and ask, how do we come up with that? Count the days. I know I tell people there's a website called Times and Dates. You can put in the date of your last year feast day, what it is this year, and they will show you the precise number of days passed. This is what they call an incomplete year. 353, 354, and 355. That is an incomplete year. What is called a complete year, or an incomplete year as well, these are the dates. 383 days in that year, 384 in that year, 385. Let me say this. There was one said that you call on Yah, he will talk to you. That's bogus and bull. His book speaks. And that's the only thing, that testimony and the power of Yahshua HaMashiach. Because I was conferring with one, I said, your feast days, or the dates from March 6, 2023, and I'll show you why they must, all of them are going to be in March or April. There is what we call the vernal equinox. And every feast day is going after or coming after the vernal equinox. These men may not know, they may not understand that, but that's factual. And we're going to prove that even with information, with the Jewish paradigm of this. You can call yourself a Jew all you want. I'm a son of YisraYah'ale. And these are the lies that have been purported, and we have been caught up in this deception. I knew that many years ago when Yah began to deal with me, I said, this is wrong. I knew that those that call themselves my friends would reject me. I have no sense of emotions when one rejects me for the truth. You can do the same studying and research. This did not come together in a day or two, but this is a preponderant actions of a student over the many years. I could not answer it no other way but what Yah laid out. This is what our years are like, what their years are like. 353, 354, 355. You there, one of you on line tonight, I can give you, or you look and see if this information is false. It's not false. This is from B'nai Mitzvah Academy, a Jewish academy. It would be the same thing if you go to UCIC, United Christ Israel, some jargon, UPK. It's all the same. You're going to have the same pattern. And it was not established by those that call themselves Hebrew Israelites. This was at the hand of those that identify as Jews. YHWH. That's how this come about, because a Vib or a Beeb. We must have it that time of the year. That's a lie. Yah scattered the word SCATTER. It is puts in the language of our forefather. That means to herald, to cast out. He scattered his people into all, the word all, KOLE, KOLE, or PAS, PAS in the Latin or Greek, into all, not Olam, but into all Eretz, into all the world. One third word, that was for his people. His people are everywhere. It's the ignorance of this nation. The arrogancy, the condescending arrogancy. They don't want to be proven wrong, but you're wrong. And your feast days are lies. You cannot get back to that springtime of April, March. Everything is after the vernal equinox. Everything. Son, put that up, the vernal equinox. We're going to get back to this. 2023, the vernal equinox is it's March 20, 24, March 20, 25th, March 20. I got every date of the vernal equinox. And you cannot have a feast day until after these dates. You cannot. And there is no feast day that comes that is before these dates here. It must be after the vernal equinox. It must be, nation. It has to be. And people can say in every one of these dates here that I pull up from Barak, this Jewish holiday calendar from 2021 to 2030, B'nai Mitzvah Academy. That's where I got this one. I have hundreds of feast days and dates over the years I've collected. I go through at this time and look at all the feast dates from every kind of organization. But it is one I don't find much when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites. I don't see their dates. I go to their websites just for that. I don't see where they post them and things like that. I don't see it. Period. There may be a few, but as organizations, they don't post this, but every Jewish organization posts theirs. It is an intercalary, 383-day year through 84 and through 85. There's a 13th month. 13th month. Every 3 years. There's a 13th month every 3 years. Must be. In order for you to get it back to March after the vernal equinox or April. And all of those, their days of celebration will always be after March the 20th or the vernal equinox. It's not even in Torah, nation. There is no lunar solar expression in Torah, but in one expression, and that is the word yom or yom. Y-O-M-E or Y-O-M. That means a day that is ruled by the sun and the moon. That's the only word that identifies any kind of lunar solar. There is no lunar solar year, period. These are lies that are being purported. And they're robbing you because you're ignorant, you don't know. I speak different than these men. So they will ostracize me and castigate me because I will not follow their lies. I said to one, one told me, you wrote a beautiful pamphlet on that when you keep the Moedim. Well, I said to that person, I was just an ignorant. Oh, you're not ignorant. Listen, I need no salutations or exaltation. I know I'm an ignorance man. We're an ignorant people. When it comes to many facets of this life, many, and we don't know. We're going to see something here tonight. You're going to either have, listen to me again, your feast day, Passover, Pesach, is going to be from 1 year to the next year. It's going to be 353 days. Year 2 to the next Passover is going to be 354 days between those. In order to get everything back in line, there is a 13th month added that you will either have 383 or 385 days. Sir, ma'am, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm teaching. I'm not one that just ventured on the scene last night. When I'm wrong, I am wrong. I'm not arrogant to say, well, and most men don't know. I didn't know in those days. There was not much. Listen, 40 years ago, there was not much on the internet as far as dates and all that, unless it was something Jewish. That was the only thing. But these groups today, they were not there. They were not there. They were not there even 30 years ago. You had them on the corners gaping and hollowing and calling the women everything kind of dog it is. You go and look on the internet. IUPK or they call their women, their wives, what a dirty dog is. Man, ain't nothing but BITCHES here for their feast days. And this is how they belittle these evil, sadistic devils. They have no honor. They don't even know how to love a woman, a wife. That's a fact. Go online and look at any of their feast days and listen to the language of these ignorant men. Listen! Y'all's not among them. You could have a 383, 384, and a 385 year. This one that I put online, that Agmakos has up, not only that, but you can download it. It will be online. You can always go and examine this. These are the dates or within the proximity of 10 days either before or after, because they all have their own plans how to do it. Yah only has one plan. When he spoke to Moshe, he did not talk about intercalating. Well, Hanukkah's calendar, he talks about intercalation. And that's just a fact, nation. You're going to do it in this. And those of the Hanukkah calendar, it is just like Easter. Same time of the year, same month, no different. And that's what Easter is. And so the pattern is just like Easter. Same thing, they wait for the vernal equinox. Fact of the matter. We have all this posted, especially the vernal equinox dates. I want you to examine that and look at it. And go online and see if you can find feast days. It's hard to find any. You go examine Hebrew Israelites' feast days, it's difficult to find any feast days out. It's difficult. They don't even post them. 99% of them do not. They don't. Everything must happen after the vernal equinox. You don't even know what the vernal equinox is. They don't even teach us that, and you want to fight? Let me read to us what the vernal equinox is. I want this one up. The vernal equinox, just a short meaning. The vernal equinox, listen closely. 2 moments in the year when the sun is exactly above the equator. What is the equator? Well, they say the line that runs center of the earth. It is a lie. The word is not even mentioned in Torah. It's an imaginary British lie and makeup. They say that the sun is directly, day and night, are of the equal length. So you got 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. That's a lie. That's a lie. You don't have any resemblance or balance of an equal day or 12-12 until around, depends on when it happens, probably 10 days later. Especially if you want to examine that from that slither of land they call YisraYah'ale. And that's a fact nation. It is not a 12-12. It may be a 10-50, but there is no equal. 12-12 is equal. Well, no, 12 hours, that's equal. It's 24 hours in a day. And if it's equal, you cannot have 11 hours and 30 minutes and the remaining for the, no, it's equal. That's what it says. Equal length. And either of the 2 points in the sky where the ecliptic, the sun annual pathway, where is any kind of expression like this in Torah? These are lies. These are falsehoods. It calls it the celestial equator intersect. So something that is celestial, it doesn't even exist. There is no lying nation. And these are the lies that they purport. We are so ignorant we buy into it. We don't examine things. We don't examine those that stand before us and teach us. We don't examine them. And that's just the truth. It says in the northern hemisphere, the vernal equinox fall about March 20 to 21. Your feast days will always be after that point. They're going to be in March or April. They're going to be in March or April. They're not going to be us even this calendar. They follow this calendar. You do, your leaders. 2 years straight. A 353 here and a 354. In order to make up for that time, they will give you a 385-day year. They augment it. Go to your leaders and ask them that. Ask them to tell you why, the reason. They can't explain it. Well, just look at the moon. Well, it takes a 13th month to get 383, 384, 385. I don't care who looks at the moon with you. It is not of Yah, it is a lie. And there is no lie in the truth. It says the sun crosses the celestial equator going north. Isn't that? This is a scheme of the British. It is an imaginary line. Has nothing to do with Yah, not even mentioned in Torah. I had an old man say to me, well, when Yorkshire says, isn't there 12 hours in the day and 12 hours in the night? That has nothing, that was not the example for his Moedim. You have time to labor and you have time to rest. Period. And these are the lies that have been purported. And I came in under that same superstition. I went to the internet. I read. I examined things. I didn't know what to do. And so I followed the same pattern that was given to me in my ignorance. But as I began to grow and learn, I realized that this was a lie. It was a lie. And I knew that those that I knew fellowship with, they would turn away from me. Period. I'm not going to capitulate. I want to show us something here. Akmakos Chabad, 13 facts about the Jewish leap year. This is the same leap year you add, I don't care if your skin is black as mine. And I got some rich black skin. There are 13 facts. It is at SHABBAT.org. There are thousands and hundreds of thousands. Isn't that amazing that they tell you what they do, and yet we don't buy it. And you follow the same pattern. I don't care if your great-great-great-granddaddy, they all did. They follow the same pattern. That this is what Chabad says, .org. It says this, 13 facts about Jewish leap year. It says, quote, a leap year can be 385 days, 384 days, or 383 days long. You can tell me, my friend, if your feast day that was in March 2023, and it's March 24, 2024, that will be 384 days. I don't care where you learned it from, your grandfather or your great-great-grandfather. This is deception, and we are afraid to get together and challenge each other. I'm not afraid of any man when it comes to that. I'm not. And this is one of the most prominent websites, Chabad Nation, on Jewish activities. This site here. This is the catalyst for all Jewish practice. This Lubavitch, those Jews, Hillel, and you follow the same identical pattern. It says a leap year can be 385, 384, 383. Just go online. You don't have to take Chabad. And look what is a Jewish leap year. You can say, I don't follow Jews. You follow the same pattern, my friend. Your forefathers learned that because many of those that look like me, I have a history of every man that is of my hue, the orchestrators and the patriarchs of what we call Hebrew Israelitism. They come out of every kind of organization. Pentecostal, they come out of Presbyterian, they come out of all of them. I got it. I do my studying. They learn this. And when those that were in Cuba, those that what they call the Caucasian Jews, the Ashkenazis, and then those that are in the island, they would identify them as Sephardic. And they didn't even let the Sephardic Jews come to America. They were barred because of the color of their skin. But the Ashkenazis, the white Jews, and all of these men, and those learn from the Ashkenazis. They learn the same kind of devious, devilish principle. And we are so ignorant, we don't want truth. We want someone to appease our itching ears. That's all we want. This is what it says. Because the month of Shezan and Kislev can be either 29 or 30 days. But look at this. The 13th month. Now let's consider the added month itself. Interestingly, it has the same name as the 12th month. And everyone that know any kind or have any kind of knowledge of this, you will hear them every third year. That's a fact now. Every third year. Factual. They would tell you that there was no barley found in the land, that slither little piece of land they call YisraYah'ale. That's a fact. That's a fact. And then they tell me in that month, Adar, thus, every pregnant year, I've never read that in Torah, every pregnant year have an Adar 1 and an Adar 2. Have you heard of that terminology? Be honest. I have. Oh, there was no barley in the land of Israel. They don't even grow barley in Israel. They grow nothing there. Very little do they even grow in that little slither of land. Why? Because 2 full months of all that is Adar implies, how extraordinary! Exclamation mark. How extraordinary, how profound that is. It's a lie. It's a far out evil, sadistic lie, and you follow that same pattern. You say what you want to. When you got 383 days from your last fellowship, there are 13 months in that. There are 13 months. And then there's a delusion when they started over again, first month. There is no 13th month. I beg of any of you all to show me that anywhere in Torah what identifies a month that is 13th. It's a lie. Or where they identify Adar too. Adar and Adar too. Show me that. You cannot find it. I'm a student, my friend. I'm a student above everything. And these are the lies we fed, and 99.9% of us don't even know how to calculate or do it. So you follow the delusion of someone like me that spew lies to you. And that's what I did because I was ignorant. Oh, you can call on Yah, he will tell you. It's a lie. He established strong men to guide. That's just like being, we're in the army of Yah. We're soldiers, right? I was a soldier. I'm a Vietnam era vet. 2 brothers in Nam, the 3rd one drafted. Had a heart ailment. I volunteered. I'm considered a Vietnam era. They did not send me to Nam. But I'm still part of that classification of a soldier. And a soldier learns one thing, how to take commands and instructions, and he goes. This is not a generation that knows. It is not. Because our leaders are ignorant. You can say what you want. Oh, you're not ignorant. I am. Let me read what Wikipedia Free Encyclopedia says. Listen now. I don't just utilize one source. I utilize multiples, and they all say the same thing. It says Wikipedia Free Encyclopedia. There are brilliant people that put things on Wikipedia. I pay the money once a year because I utilize the service. I use all kinds of encyclopedia. I search all kinds of things. It says the Jewish calendar, also called the Hebrew calendar, is a lunar solar calendar used today by the Jewish religions, observations as an official calendar of Israel. It determines the date of the Jewish holidays and other rituals, such as the schedule of public Torah reading. In Israel, it is used for religious purpose, providing a time frame for agriculture and the official calendar of the civic holidays along with the Gregorian calendar. This is the calendar of Yah. This one. He gave us that calendar and no other one. This is what, as I continue here, it says this: like other lunar solar calendar, the Jewish consists of months of 29, 30 days, which began and end at approximately the time of the new moon, the KOLE, the slither of that moon, that little slither of the moon, a renewed moon. As 12 such months comprise of, that this is 12 months. My friend, I know when you see that little slither, you see that little slither. That's what you see. That begins the month. That is the words KHODESH, Chodash. It is the month, the beginning of the renewed month. Listen closely. As 12 such months comprise of just 354 days, isn't that what this is consistent with? 354 days it says this: an extra lunar month is added every 2 or 3 years, so that the long-term average year length closely and actually length of the solar year. It is their twerking, or trying to twerk Yah's time, and they're doing a wonderful job because they got us deceived. Listen to this closely. Originally, the beginning of each month was determined based on the physical observation of the new moon. That's the way we identify it. And when we don't see it, science is that precise. I have been using this same calendar for so long. I order mine the beginning of the year, and they don't even send it out until July. So one for this 2024 is already ordered, but I won't get it until, and that's for 2025. I got 2024 for 2025 calendar. I won't get that to July. So I'll know how my feast days, and there's observation whereby we can almost precisely, and we do here, know when the Chodesh is. Quickly, let me read this. It says, originally, the beginning of each month was determined based upon the physical, there must be a physical observation of the renewed moon. While the decision of whether to add the leap month was based on the observation of natural agriculture related events in the ancient, what they call YisraYah'ale. It was there. That cycle. Between the year of 70 and 1178, these empirical criteria were gradually replaced with sets of mathematical rule, and that's what you're doing. They have formulated a mathematical rule. They don't even observe the sun, the moon. It's not that we just started this few years ago. I don't care what kind of time you have in, my friend, but we're not schoolboys here, period. So they began with this mathematical formula. Month lengths now follow a fixed schedule, which is adjusted based on the moads. Interval, a mathematical approximation of the means and times between new moons, and several other rules. This is one that I have a study just on this one thing. It is called the Methanech or the Metanich. Methan, a Greek astrologist. I have minimum 500 pages just on this one thing. It calls its 19-year according to the Metanic or the Methanech cycle. That's what it's all based on, a 19-year cycle that he studied the moon, the heavens for 19 years, the celestial bodies, and he is the one that came up with this system. And every Jew, every religious Jew, they follow that system. Now there's a new one. I haven't taken time to really examine that one. That's replacing the Metanech, the Metanic cycle. And you are, if your skin is like mine, you follow the same cycle. We learn these things from our masters. You think that our forefathers in the 1800s, they were really educated? They did not have the tool or the access to this kind of information. And they learned many things by the hearing of the ear. We as this generation, we have every kind of modern convenience there is. And I utilize all of it. You have to be quite ignorant to say that an encyclopedia, someone that have a history of scholarship, of studying things, whether it hurts them or not. That is not needed. That's crazy. It's crazy. Do I know everything there is about slavery? I don't. And I read all the time. I study slavery and those things that those people. I know. I was born at a time where the Jim Crow ruled. I was born in that time. I'm no novice. And I was educated by strong people of my hue, men and women. Let us go a little farther. This is called the Metanich. Go online and just look that up. It is Metanich, Metanich. Metonic, Metonic cycle. Every 19 years. You must do this. And that's what you do, my friends. And that's why all of your feast days will be in March or April. I will sit down with your leader, anyone. Let's do it civil. Let's sit down together and you prove how you get to that date. You can't do anything without counting. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for his SHABBAT. Why you can't count 1 to 30, 40, 50, 383 days? You're afraid. We are afraid to be exposed. I have no problem with that. Anything that I think or anything that I conjure up, I know it's a lie. It is corrupt, it is violent, and it is full of deceit and every kind of corruption there is. Nowadays, Hebrew years are generally counted according to the system of Ano Mudai. It is a Latin term, or the year of the world, Hebrew. From the creation of the world, abbreviated AM, this system attempts to calculate the number of years since the creation of the world according to Bereshit, Genesis creation narrative, and subsequently biblical stories. The current Hebrew year, AM 5084, it has a tremendous range. And that's a fact. Began at sunset on the 15th of September 2023, ends at sunset on October 2024. This is not my calculation. I have read from resources that's used all around the world. They buy this. They buy what Chabad says. 13 days of 13 facts of Jewish year. A year can be 385, 384, 383. And my friends, if you count the days, we are stubborn, rebellious, arrogant people. We don't like to be proved wrong. We think we're that intelligent. Everything about me is wrong. I'm right about nothing. He is right. He is the Sadiq, the righteous one. If you would just do that, count from last year your feast to this year. You could just get your calendar, take it out and count. But I utilize, as I says, times and dates. You put in the date when you want to start and the date that is in. And you will see that you will calculate from last year to this year. There was a 13th month cycle. 13 months. 13th month, and then the first month. There is an intercalation of 30 days. The Muslims, Ramadan, you see, for always 11 days, it will go back. And it will always come back to that time. At least they have some form of a judicial process with their people because they're Muslims in every part of the world. Some will celebrate it when it's frigid. Some when it's warm and sunny. That's what they have done in this wicked nation and what we call the Jewish nation. That's what they have done. And that's what you are bought into, my friend. And there are those that are afraid to even examine stuff like this and to see how wrong they are. They don't want to be proven wrong. That's beyond arrogance and pride. That is a violence of great contempt. There is nothing more violent than a man think that he's right when he is wrong. There's nothing more. I want to give validity to this concerning the Jewish months. This article is from Time and Date. See if there's witness. That's where it is from. Not an article, but this is the historical evaluation of these lies. Adar 1 and Adar 2. 383, 384, 385. That's a fact, my friend. That is a fact. That is just the fact of how it is done. Can I read this? I will. This is from a website that I use quite a bit. It has a tremendous amount of literature. And everything that I found there just spit out with no regards to whom or whatever religion it is. It's just sad that we don't believe that we have scholars that have given their lives to understand things, and they detail things much greater than you or me. We don't even honor that. We have no sense of honor. I don't care what your daddy, your mama, your grandmama taught you. There are things that are factual. You can't deny that. But this is an article here from Times and Dates. The name of it is Jewish Calendar Structure. The name of the Jewish Calendar, Hebrew Calendar, Time and Date.com. Go there and read. It says a year in the Hebrew calendar, the Jewish, can be 353, 354, 355, 383, 384, or 385 days long. Can I say this nation, I have researched. I have every calendar of every nation. The different names, lunar, solar, every calendar. I have all of them. I've spent time. Some calendars, a year, 290 days. It's factual. This is what it says. A year concerning the Hebrew calendar. Regular, what they call common years, have 12 months. It's there. You can read it. You can go to Time and Dates and just type on Jewish calendar. Regular common years have 12 months with a total of 354 days. He says leap years have 13 months and are 384 days long. Months with uneven numbers usually have 30 days, while months with even numbers have 29 days. This is how they rob you. I knew it was something wrong, and I'm like, how is it that this is not a year? This is not even a solar year. A solar year is 365 days, 0.20. That's what a solar lunar year is. This is not a year. This was perpetrated. I find none of this in the book that I love. If you find a year of discomposition or either a 13th month, please send it to me. Correct me. He says, in addition to these regular or kisadar year length, both common and leap years can be a day shorter, chesharach, or deficient year with 353. Now that's a deficient year. Or 383 days, or a day longer, which is called shlich mach, or a complete year with 385. That's a complete year. What year is that? You're utilizing the sun, the moon, and all of that, the stars. What year is that? Or 385 days. These alterations are designed to prevent, this is what they've done, to prevent Rosh Hashanah and other holidays from falling on certain days of the week. They don't want really anything to fall on what they call SHABBAT. They don't want to be no double feast day or nothing like that. That is one thing. And this is how this is constructed. Your leaders cannot explain that. Just go out and watch this on. While this year, my friend, you that will keep a 383-day year, you didn't watch the sun. When your feast days measure up to what I read, this one that I received, when your feast days last year was 355 days from 2022, and from 2023 to 2024 is 384 days. What is that? What is that? You saw a 13th month. Nation, don't be beguiled by these people. Take to heart what I'm teaching you tonight. I'm not doing it for money or riches. I'm doing this because of the love of Yah and His truth. I'm not going to purport lies. I'm not going to agree with them. I'm not going to walk with them if they don't want to walk with me. But if you walk with me, I will walk with you. But we're going to discuss this. We're going to debate this. There is no free ride with me. When a man comes to simple truth, everyone wants to delegate themselves as so smart and intelligent. I tell people all the time, and I'm not going to change that for you, anyone. I'm an ignorant man. I'm not learned. I mean that. Because the way I engage in this book, what I learned, it is beyond my ability to comprehend. But yet, Yah opens up those doors to give me wisdom and understanding of those things. He does. Let me proceed. I want to stop at 8. It says this. Complete year is 355 and 385. That's a complete year. What is your year of feast days? Does it make a year? Does it make 364? Like Hanuk speaks of. You got to intercalate even to get that. You got to intercalate. And there's nowhere where Moshe spoke of any kind of intercalation. He says in a civil context, a new year of the Jewish calendar begins on Rosh Hashanah, Tirishi, the first. However, for religious purpose, the year begins on Nisan 1. This is how these lies have been concocted. And we buy this, and they're nothing but lies. Let me read this. Here in SHABBAT, the Jewish leap year. The Jewish calendar, which has been used by the Jewish people since their liberation from Egypt, or it has been, operates according to the lunar cycle. That's what it says in SHABBAT. Every scholar of every kind, they go to that website. SHABBAT. It consists of 12 or 13 months. And that is what your year this year is 13 months. You can get all fancy lips and all of that and say it doesn't, but it's a lie. When you got a 384 days in a year, that's 13 months. You can try to negate that all you want to and not want to discuss it, but it's still 13 months. It's still a 13th month. There are you that are cowardly. I back down from no man. Out of all men. I will show you honor, but I will not back down from you for friendship or anything. Let's debate, let's discuss the matter. And let's discuss it in truth, not emotions. With each month being either 29 or 30 days long, let's delve into the details of their month. Quote, the Jewish leap year, which occurs, this is what happens now. Listen closely. This was one of the first things I discovered when I began to look like, yeah, something is wrong. I had nobody that I could discuss these matters with, because they were set in their ritualistic, self-righteous ways. The Jewish leap year, which occurs 7 times in a 19-year cycle, which is the Metanech or the Metanic cycle, has 13 months instead of a regular year of 12. That's how you get years that are this long. That's how you get this for this year. I don't care if you're Jewish or if your skin is black and beautiful as mine. You're going to get a 384 year. Oh, there's a little variance because the dates, but it's basically in that same range. You're going to have 1 year counted, my friend. Go on the web, find any place, especially one that identifies as a Hebrew Israelite. If you can find these, I search every year, and I've done it for all the years I began to walk in this truth. Very few places that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, their web or their feast days are there. Send me those that you have found. The Jewish leap year, which occurs 7 times in a 19-year cycle, that is the Metanic cycle, has 13 months, consisted of regular years, 12. I didn't know you had a regular year and an enlarged year. Wow, where is that in Torah? I haven't found it. This is so that the lunar-based Jewish, they telling you even what the Jews base. And you, my friends, that's how you base your months on. It is a lunar. It is a lunar, not solar. It is the moon that directs us. This is so that the lunar-based Jewish year should remain aligned with the solar season. I don't find that in Torah. 12 lunar months makes up a total of 354 days. And when you spot that moon, it's going to always 11 years. It's going to go backwards. YisraYah'ale. That's the way it is. It would take 33 years. Surprising number, isn't it? 33 years now for it to get back to April 4th. It would take 33 years. Look up that number 33 in your numerology. It would take that long. Look at Hamashiach, his death, his age. It'll take 33 years, nation. Slightly more than 11 days short of the 365.25 day solar cycle. the Jewish leap year. I'm going to stop there because I'll talk all night. I simply wanted to come for an hour. I want to do this. I'm going to do this at an interim. I'll consider my office. I wanted to do it here this evening, on this Shabbat evening. But I'll come in here times I'll be in my office. I can do it. And I can share with you just like my coach is doing in the back there. So I want to say to you all, have a great rest. Join us on the Shabbats. We have been tricked. We've been lied to. We have been seduced. And there is nothing like a stubborn man that thinks he knows. He's not going to yield. But you merry warrior, I may go by. I will kill you. I don't care who you are. Let's fight. Let's put it on. Let's get it on. I will die for the sake of this truth. And I know that as I was beguiled and led by lies, well, how did you know that? Because my ignorance lets me. And all those that you could not hardly find anything. You could not find its son. And each little bit I would get, I would hold on to it. And so that's why I have thousands and thousands and 10,000s of pages. Something is wrong with us. If YHWH was a very brilliant man in the sciences of math and all, these men were right. Noah was a brilliant man. All of these men. Shalom. These men were brilliant. They were smart men. I'm not of that category. I know I'm ignorant. That's why I labor so much with intensity to learn. And you must learn. You must have strong teachers as YHWH and those men were. Well, I heard that from the heavens. You heard a lie. That's why you're deceived. These men are not hearing Yah talk. That's a profound teaching. I want to teach on that. The voice of Yah, the sound. The earth quakes when he talks. He ordained men that are warriors, by they're strong, and they would tell you the truth. May Yah Baruch, my friends, the nation, be encouraged. And I say unto us all, we'll see you on Shabbat. Yah Baruch in Yahshua's name. Hallelujah. Yeah.